Jacob Ramsay, Senior Southeast Asia Analyst at Control Risk Group. He just returned from Bangkok over the weekend and joins us from Singapore. Jacob, why don't you bring us up to date on the latest in Bangkok? We have these protesters situated in the business district. What exactly are you seeing on the ground?
Well, first thing to say is that they're not going anywhere. Having a look around on Friday night, the main protest area in Rajapaksa and Silom, it's clear that the protesters are dug in. They've got food stalls, all the sorts of amenities that can keep them there for a long time. And they're determined now as ever to either draw the military into another confrontation or see Abhisit go.
Yeah, what about Abhisit now threatening a crackdown on these protesters? Do you think he's actually going to follow through here? There could be more blood on the streets, Jacob.
Well, the thing to always say about Thailand is predict the unpredictable, and I hedge my comments by saying that a confrontation seems inevitable and seems imminent for that matter. The two sides have been squaring off for days, but it's impossible to tell whether the standoff will end up as it did on 10 April with another violent confrontation. We'd all be hoping that it fizzles out and some solution comes, but it's too difficult to tell.
Yeah, it's like a game of chicken right now, isn't it, Jacob? I mean, they're all in a standoff, daring each other to react. I mean, how can you predict what the outcome might be?
I don't think there are really many options. For starters, the military holds the whip hand. It's got the power, and for its part, there's only one solution, which is to press through and overwhelm and overcome the protesters. And they'll do, I think, anything they can between now and that point to make sure that they maintain stability and they maintain control over the wider country.
Okay, let me ask you something, Jacob. It looks like there's going to be more violence on the streets. So what does this mean? I mean, is this really a good sign for Thailand at this point, that you have the military threatening to crack down, the protesters saying they're not going to go away?
Well, I think that we are seeing a huge impact on the economy, on tourism generally, which is, for obvious reasons, one of the more sensitive industries in the country. But Thailand has a fantastic ability to recover and bounce back fairly quickly from these sorts of crises, and we've seen that the last couple of times around over the last 2 to 3 years, where the economy takes a dip for a few weeks and then steadily over the following months starts to recover quite well. I think that's what investors will be looking out for again once things resolve themselves here in Bangkok.
Yeah, Jacob, one more question for you. I mean, everyone's been watching out for the king to maybe step in here to, I guess, alleviate these tensions. Why hasn't he spoken out yet?
Well, I think we've seen the Queen and the Crown Prince step in almost on his behalf or on behalf of the royal household to lend their support to the military. The king, I don't think, is going to step in, and he's best at this point to keep quite some distance from what's happening, lest the circumstances taint his image, and that's a real concern for the monarchy as a whole.
All right. Well, hopefully, the crackdown doesn't turn violent and we don't see more blood on the streets in Bangkok. That's probably the last thing that international watchers and investors want to see. Jacob, thank you for that. Jacob Ramsay, Senior Southeast Asia Analyst at Control Risk Group.